This is the Goldmine segment of the podcast where I dig out the small, unexpected lessons hidden in the everyday work of running a business. I'll share one, we'll pull out the takeaway, and let's add it to our shared stash. Numbers can make you feel like a genius one day and a total failure the next day. That is the love-hate power they've had. And I have always felt this deeply, even more so now as a marketer and someone whose profession is to show their clients that the numbers are worth it, even when I don't have full control over those numbers. It's funny to me that I'm so wrapped up in numbers now because growing up, I always thought I was bad at math. Math tests always made me panic. Equations always made me freeze. Even now, when I see numbers, I feel that old math anxiety make me twitch sometimes. But in marketing, numbers did kind of start to feel different to me because in marketing, they tell stories, and storytelling is something that's always felt easy to me and that I've always understood. And the opportunity to look at data as narrative instead of just cold math, it actually helped me start to heal my relationship with numbers. That said, even with all the progress, numbers do still mess with my head sometimes. And that's what inspired this gold mine today, because I know I'm not the only one out there who has math anxiety. I talk to people probably at least once a week. Someone also admits to me about their math anxiety, and we commiserate over it. As business owners, I think we all run into moments where the data, the numbers, feel more like a mind game than a guide. For me, that usually shows up in three ways, and I'm guessing you will relate to this. First, analytics paralysis. You log into Klaviyo or Google Analytics, and suddenly it feels like stepping into a hall of mirrors. One report says your click rates are amazing. Another shows barely any traffic is coming from email marketing. Make it make sense. Shopify revenue looks steady, but when you try to tie it back to campaigns in Google Analytics, the attribution just doesn't add up. And before you know it, you're toggling between tabs, refreshing reports, making sure the date ranges are right, maybe even pulling numbers in a spreadsheet to make it work in your brain. I've been there so many times, losing hours, stuck in the spiral of which numbers are the real ones? Which can I trust? Am I just bad at math? And I've had clients ask me to explain these discrepancies. And sometimes the honest, best answer I can give them is that marketing attribution is just imperfect. Every marketing platform, e-commerce, digital platform measures differently. Every metric has quirks. Numbers are signals, not absolute facts. They should point to trends, or they do point to trends. They should guide decision making, but they're not the be all end all. And the problem is when you do treat them like the be all end all, because you will freeze. You will lose hours of your life trying to reconcile the unreconcilable instead of asking, hold on, what is the big story here? What do these numbers, imperfect as they are, tell me about my business and my customers right now? And I find when I'm able to zoom out like that, it's way easier to move forward, and I can stop. I can stop. When I zoom in too much, that's when I get stuck and start to doubt my own ability to do math. Secondly, numbers and identity. Okay, this one gets really personal. My mood can really rise and fall with numbers. When open rates are up, when conversion looks strong, when a campaign hits, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I have cracked the code. But when the numbers dip again, even just a little bit, which they always will at some point, it feels like a punch in the gut. And I start wondering if I'm failing, not just failing a campaign, but failing as a professional. Maybe, no, That's dramatic, but it does put doubt in my mind. Numbers, when they are going the right way, whatever that means to you, are seductive because they can always seem objective when it comes to business and marketing. They feel like there's some kind of proof. So when they are positive, you feel validated. And when they're negative, you feel judged and challenged. It's so easy to tie your self-worth to metrics on a dashboard, but I try to strike the balance of numbers are feedback, not a verdict. They don't define me as a marketer or a person, but that also doesn't mean I dismiss them either. Instead, I approach them like a scientist would. It is a data point in an ongoing experiment that we are doing to ultimately make things better. If something underperforms, that is not a scarlet letter. It's just a clue. It's telling you something about timing, messaging, audience, execution, or maybe something that's completely out of your control. So when the numbers are down, remind yourself this is not proof you're bad at what you do. It just means there's something here to investigate, and that will keep you curious instead of crushed. And then the data is useful rather than being paralyzing. And then third, numbers without context. This one is so sneaky. Say I see an open rate for an email dip by 5%. Okay, maybe I'm like, that's weird. It's not an insignificant amount. I'm thinking, did my subject line flop? Is my list tired of me? Am I doing something wrong? But when you step back, you remember one single number, one single data point, it never exists in a vacuum. It could be the time of year. Inboxes get crowded, people are traveling, routines shift. Maybe I changed my usual send day or time, and that always has ripple effects. Sometimes it's just the natural ebb and flow of engagement. You need that context with numbers, in marketing at least. If you don't have it, then yeah, every number is going to stand out and confuse you and make you ask a million questions. They will all be telling you something is wrong, fix it now. But when you have context, you can step back and say, okay, this is another clue. Let's put it in the bigger picture and see how it all fits. And making that shift in your brain changes a lot, because then you don't start treating every one unfavorable number that you see like it's an emergency. It's just a puzzle piece in a much bigger story. So yes, numbers can mess with your head. They still mess with my head sometimes. I still have that math anxiety. But when I step back, I remember I'm the storyteller and the numbers are my characters. They're just part of the plot. They're here to guide me. They're not here to define me. And I hope that's the takeaway for you too. The next time numbers throw you off, get curious and ask yourself, what is the story they're really trying to tell me? I just started laughing because I'm imagining numbers like on a stage or something, telling a narrative. Because once you reframe it as a story, maybe we can imagine them on a stage. You can move forward instead of getting stuck in weird math justification land. So it's your job to decide whether they control the story or whether they simply inform the one that you're telling. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos for even more tips.